Alright, so we are making Bisquick Impossible Pie. What is it? Well, this recipe was on a box of Bisquick in the 70s and 80s. When I lived with my brother when we were going to university, this is something he would make all the time, and I got the leftovers. So I got to watch him make it, and I got to enjoy this. So let's start making one. Okay, ingredients. Well, we need a box of Bisquick, of course, some milk, some cheese, a couple eggs, and some veggies. I've got broccoli, onions, and peppers. I mean, you can put others in if you want. Salt and pepper to taste, and away we go. So the first thing we need to do is chop up our veggies. So there's some broccoli. Now, I do remember my brother always made it with broccoli. If that's not your thing, you can put something else in it, tomatoes, whatever you like. But I remember it with broccoli, so I want to make it with broccoli. And it does give it a little bit of bulk. So we've got it chopped up small enough so it can go in the pie. And we'll dump the broccoli into a container and go on to our next step, which is we need a pot of water, not a big one. And what we're going to do is dump our broccoli in and par cook it. I guess you don't have to. I just would rather it be cooked before I put it into the pie. You don't have to cook it all the way, but at least give it a head start. About 5 minutes or so. That's personal preference. You don't have to. Next up is a red pepper. I didn't need the whole thing. Half was more than enough. You could get away with a third of a pepper even. So we're going to chop that up into small bits because that's going in our pie too. You can make them as big and as small as you'd like. Once again, it's all personal preference. There you go, that looks about right. We're going to put that aside. Now, you don't want too many vegetables to deal with because obviously you're working with a pie shell. Too much means it's just going to overflow. And I misjudged it a bit too, because you'll see at the end what happened. It did overflow a little bit. It's okay, it worked out in the end. So our onion, I've got a half a medium onion. I'm thinking maybe half of that will work out just fine. And of course I'll chop up everything else. The rest will go in the fridge for the next dish I'm going to make. Once that's done, we'll set the onions aside. We'll go on to our mixing bowl. I'm going to crack our eggs. Now, of course, one egg had a double yolk. I don't know if that's good luck or whatever. Before we add anything else to this, let's give it a decent stir. We're going to put some salt in, some pepper, and that, of course, is the taste. About a teaspoon each will work. You want a little more in, go ahead. You want other spices, it's your call on what you want to put in. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do after that's all mixed is throw in our Bisquick mix. It's only a half a cup. Not a lot. To it, 1 cup of milk. And now we've got to give all that a nice thorough mixing. This is kind of like mixing pancake mix. It doesn't have to be 100% completely combined, but do your best. So we've finished par cooking our broccoli. We'll dump that into a bowl. Along with our onions and peppers. And we're going to add 1 cup of cheese. Your choice. Cheddar's good, but I've always got my standby Tex-Mex. Maybe we'll put in a little more than 1 cup. Your choice. I'm going to put more cheese in. And now here's our pie tin. I did par cook this a little bit, about 5 minutes, just to make sure. Putting our veggies and cheese in. Now you can see how full this is, and it's a deep dish crust. I mushed everything down, and then the egg and Bisquick mixture go on next. First, I'm glad I thought of it, you don't want any spilling in the oven. So just in case, I got a baking sheet with some parchment paper underneath. That should ought to work out. I'm kind of glad I thought of that. And to it, here comes that egg mixture. Now you can see how it's standing on top. I might have been better to mix it all together first. I don't think it would have mattered one way or another, except this did, instead of soaking down to the bottom, it did stay on top. And I'm glad I had the baking sheet because some of it did spill when it was baking, and I figured as much would happen. Into the oven at 400, preheated of course, 35 to 45 minutes until that baby is done. And you can see not only is the crust nice and brown, but now I've taken a knife just to check to make sure the egg in that is cooked through and through. Kind of like you would with a cake. So you can see all the spilling on the one side. Kind of a waste, but you know, live and learn. There we have it, our finished Bisquick Impossible Pie. And I hope you try this. If you do, leave me a comment below. Let me know how it worked out for you. Well, I hope that made you hungry, and I hope that's something you're going to try. Listen, if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, a like below. And if I haven't talked you into it yet, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. That'll tell you the next time I upload a video. And I really hope you enjoyed this. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.